Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. And we are extremely grateful and honored for the partnership we have with the British School of Excellence, bringing you this program each and every Friday. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and I'm super pleased that it's Friday. Yay! Because that means I'm going to get to see my dear friend Philip, and we're going to talk about social harmony. Let's welcome the president and founder of the British School of Excellence. It's Mr. Philip SYKES. Hello.
Hello. And yes, the week is just boom, out the window before you know it.
It's crazy. I can't believe that we're in the middle of October going towards the end of 2023. It's funny. We talked about this before, and I don't know if this is proper etiquette or not, but now that I'm 60, I start to appreciate every day because they go by so fast.
It's too fast. It is too fast. And definitely, I don't care what anyone says. I know we all get 86,400 seconds each day, but the older we get, the quicker time seems to fly.
It does. And, for the two of us, we're out there in the public and we are helping people and bringing our message forth. And I just want to thank you for bringing your message here to our platform as well.
It's an honor and a joy. And I just love, I think I saw some silly numbers that you posted the other day. How many million people have engaged with USA Global TV?
Well, we've crossed over 1 million. That was 7 days ago. So I don't know where it is right now, but it's incredible because, we started actually in October of 19, and it was wrapping with Dr. Jacalyn. And we had very few views. I want to say maybe 1,200 for the rest of that year. And so we started with USA Global last January. And so the momentum keeps building and building and building. And it's because of people like you who are bringing incredible content to our viewers.
Crumbs, it's a joy, I tell you something. And we're looking so forward to this coming Wednesday. We've got Zarifa Al-Ghafari joining us, who is just out of the top drawer. I will share a bit more about that toward the end of the show, but Zarifa is going to just get your hankies and your tissues ready because this is one incredible woman. It gives me goosebumps sharing it with you. And we all need to go out there and make a difference and make a change and do what we can in our capacity, whether it's in a financial capacity, or whether it's a giving capacity, giving your time, giving your expertise, whatever it is, we all have an opportunity to make a difference in this world. And that's really what the British School of Excellence is all about, is going out there and making a difference. And I'm really excited today to discuss this idea and this topic of social harmony and weaving emotions, etiquette, and diversity into how we can really build the most solid platforms with one another.
Absolutely, Philip. Before we begin on our topic for today, do you want to talk a little bit about the Live, Learn, Teach, Inspire platform so that people know more about it?
Absolutely. We created Live, Learn, Teach, Inspire very much for everybody to come in and A, watch, but B, also, if you ever wanted to be a guest on Live, Learn, Teach, Inspire, and you want to get your incredible message out there, whatever it might be, we really use the Live, Learn, Teach, Inspire to inspire people, as it says, to motivate people, to give people some incredible tools in how they put their best foot forward. And we've had the most incredible guests on the show. It really has been an amazing journey thus far in the the sense that people like Dr. Ivan Meisner, who has 11,000 chapters around the world, and he is absolutely a genius at what he's achieved and what he's managed to establish through the BNI. And if you think about his organization, he is helping people through the BNI build relationships, build business, and just go out there and put your best foot forward through the power of networking. But we can't just go out there and network. You need to know how to network. So BNI is really the most fantastic platform and opportunity for people to join these incredible networking events and do business. And I think just last year, BNI, in the 11,000 chapters globally, they literally did a revenue of about $20 billion in revenue. And it really is phenomenal in that respect. So, you know, when we come to watching this coming week, Live, Learn, Teach, Inspire, I met this incredible woman a couple of months ago, and she shares her story about how she had this vision, this focus to really look at how she could make a difference in this world, predominantly for women, predominantly for people who are really finding life very, very challenging and are short of education and really do need to be able to get out there and put their best foot forward. But not only that, I tell you something, that what this amazing woman sacrificed and done to make a difference in this world is just mind-blowingly extraordinary. And yes, she does need to raise awareness. She does need to raise funds. She does need to very much bring people, make people aware of what's going on in this world. Because I think a lot of us in this world live with our heads buried in the sand. And again, I'm sure it saddens all of us to see what's going on in the world, and some of the latest news that has been broadcast across the globe. And we don't really want to start the show on a negative footing, but everybody out there, we need to become socially aware of what we can do and how we can impact this world to make it a better world. We really do. You know, at the end of the day, we're human beings. And I was talking to someone the other day. Someone said, there's that phrase out there, stop behaving like an animal. And I thought about that, and I thought, animals don't behave badly. With all due respect, I mean, my poodle might jump up and down because she sees a fox in the garden, but she's not behaving badly. We as human beings, you know, we really do behave in the most extraordinarily negative and bad ways. The lion doesn't just go and attack the springbuck to antagonize it. If it's hungry, it'll go hunting. But here in this so-called modern world we live in, and this world that's meant to move fast and furiously forward, I think we've gone backwards about 100 paces. So that's all I've got to share. And Live, Learn, Teach, Inspire is really there to literally get out there and get messages across in different spheres, different areas, different topics.
Thank you, Philip. And again, that program is coming up on Wednesday. That'll be 1 p.m. Eastern time, and that's 6 p.m. BST.
And just so we're all aware, at the end of October, everybody watching and listening into this incredible platform and this specific, the power of etiquette and manners, from the end of October, our clocks go back an hour. And I know in the US, your clocks also change. But just so everyone's aware, we go from British summertime into GMT.
And then we're 4 hours apart for a couple of weeks, right?
I believe so.
That's short time. Okay. Good to know. That's coming up again. So when we're talking about social harmony, one thing I've noticed recently with all the events going on in the world is people are expressing themselves through social media, especially through Instagram. And there's a lot of anger and hatred that's coming out, and people are really showing who they are in many ways. So I'm wondering, as we talk about harmony, obviously there are atrocities going on. There are horrific things going on. How do we express ourselves and at the same time keep harmony and etiquette and manners?
Well, firstly, I think what we need to bring into play is understanding emotions and recognizing and respecting, you know, one's own emotions and those of others. And, you know, it's really, these are foundational threads of social harmony. It really does allow us to think about responding empathetically and build emotional connections. And one can express one's emotions. However, let's think about who we might be affecting or who it might be laid upon, who might it upset. And when we express our emotions, especially when it comes to the power of etiquette and manners, giving people the tools to express their feelings in a healthy and constructive manner can really prevent misunderstandings and promote a very dynamic and supportive environment. And when it comes to managing our emotions, these skills on managing our emotions, things such as Dr. Jacalyn and the audience who listen in on this program, we talk about the 6-second rule. So things such as patience, learning to count to 6. Sometimes we need to run around the block. Sometimes we need to sleep on something. We need to learn the tools. There are many tools out there to stay sort of calm in challenging times. And these will definitely start to forge better friendships and relationships, Dr. Jacalyn.
I agree with you. Absolutely. The other day, I'm not going to allude to exactly when it was, but the other day, someone was sharing something they had been through, and it was highly emotional. And I was watching the expression on the other people who were listening to this, and I could see people were getting anxious because it was uncomfortable to hear what this person went through. And their facial expressions were really telling all of it. And then the person who was sharing the story, you could see how they were reacting. And it just kept building and building. And this happens quite often. I believe that this is at the core why people don't get along in many cases in relationships, because you can't fully express yourself without the other person reacting, and then you're reacting to their reacting.
Completely. And the obvious thing is we can't jump into one another's heads. So what obviously triggers is the body language, and which we've shared on numerous occasions on this program, but not only on US Global TV. We focus heavily on our body language, tonality, and how we can affect one another just through those two elements of our so-called non-verbal communication. And that is very, very powerful. Our body language comprises of 55% of our communication and 38% when it comes to tonality, and only 7% that spoken word. So going just to what you reflected on there, Dr. Jacalyn, just by giving off the wrong energy through our body language can bang trigger a moment or trigger another person, and all of a sudden, just from one look, someone else now puts their boxing gloves on, but actually the other person might be in shock or horror or in dismay or whatever it is. We don't take the time to sort of find out in an in-depth way to sort of really connect with one another on a very even keel and learn to communicate. That is one of the things I think we as human beings are really poor at doing. I know it's a generalization, but generally.
Yes. And to your point about the communication, when we work on our communication skills, when we work on listening, I feel, are more open and aware of how someone else is reacting. And that gives us the ability to have compassion and empathy. When we are not aware of our own behavior, many times we just completely react because we're taking feelings from one situation and now we're throwing them at somebody at another situation, and they have no idea what's happening.
Absolutely. And that again goes back to, we should not allow our mood to dictate our manners, because we do in so many parts of our life. And I know I don't want to detract, but I know I shared an article with you about this young man not wanting to give up his seat for a pregnant woman, and that he wrote something negative on Reddit, and eventually took it down quite quickly when the press picks up on it. Because with all due respect, I think no matter who you are or where you come from, the polite thing to do in any situation is to have situational awareness, not be self-absorbed, and to offer, whether it be a seat, hold a door for someone, that thing. Now, going back to what you've just brought into play here, and you'll hear where I'm coming back on piece shortly, is we don't know what that young man might have been going through. He might have felt totally sabotaged and picked on. He could have had the worst start to the day, and someone sort of, from memory of reading the article, had sort of not picked on him, but had alluded to him that he should be the one that should give up his seat, and it exploded. Now, I would imagine if he had to wind back the clock and reflect on how he reacted and sort of, I suppose, put on his boxing gloves in every way, he would be kicking himself, because maybe he was completely out of so-called character, but something obviously triggered in him. And we as human beings, we can learn through the importance of etiquette and manners and through the importance of our emotional intelligence to learn how to handle ourselves, especially when we're under so much pressure.
Absolutely. And, Philip, I read that article that you shared, and something that came up for me was that just because someone's younger, and I'm not taking sides, by the way, I'm not judging, just because someone's younger doesn't mean that they have the capacity to stand, for example, for whatever the amount of time was that train ride was. But yet we assume, oh, he's younger, she's pregnant. But when the pregnant woman got on the train, she had to know also that maybe there wouldn't be a seat. So there's a lot of different ways you can look at it. And I've seen this happen many times on a flight. Maybe a mother and a child come on, or two people who are together and they couldn't get seats together, and they ask someone, would you mind switching? And it's happened to me, and I believe I've said, yes, I'll switch every time. But it's difficult because you went on, and in this case on a plane, you actually selected a seat for a reason and could see what seats were available, which seats weren't. So I guess we have to look at things from other people's perspectives as well. And we do have a comment from one of our team members, Heather Joy. Thanks for being with us. I'm always reminding my daughter to mind her tone of voice and facial expressions, trying to teach her that those parts of communication are very powerful.
Heather, they are more than powerful. It is fundamental. It really is. And especially, I think, now that you've shared that lovely comment and reflected on that, is I've got two beautiful daughters, but when we talk about a relaxed face, when their faces are relaxed, they could potentially look as being grumpy or dissatisfied. And I think we as human beings, again, need to turn on a certain light bulb within us to radiate positivity. And it takes huge effort, because it goes back to all the sort of areas we focus on this journey through the power of etiquette and manners and emotional intelligence. Is you could be in the one place at the right time, and because you gave off the right sort of energy, boom, your life could change for the better. So it really is something to be socially and situationally aware of.
Thank you, Philip, and thank you, Heather. We really appreciate you watching and commenting. So let's go back to the situation with the train or the plane, for example.
Yeah.
What would you say in terms of basic etiquette and manners is the appropriate response? If someone wants something that you have, or they are perceived to need something that you have, do you have to agree and say, yes, let me give it to you?
I don't think you should jump to it. I think, look, there's certain people who would trigger fast and they will do it without thinking, and that's wonderful. Maybe I fall into that camp. And then afterwards you get the worst seat in the house, and well, it's one of those things. But, at the end of the day, something interesting happened to me on a plane many, many years ago, and that was, I can't even remember. I was sat in, I think, in economy on quite a long flight, and my seat wasn't exactly very comfortable. There was something wrong with it, and the so-called screen didn't work, and I didn't get upset. It's one of those things. And I just said to the air hostess, the air steward, I said, look, if there's an opportunity, could someone please, help me with my seat and look at the screen for me? I didn't say move me or get irate or upset at all, even though one pays for these sort of things. It was one of those things. It's a situation. And they came over, they looked at everything, and then a few moments later, someone from business class came over and said, look, Mr. Sykes, you've been so understanding, and so the way you've handled this and being so polite and choice of word, they were just really taken by the way I reacted in such a positive light. And I was bumped up into business class. But going back to your question, Dr. Jacalyn, everything's about, I think, assessing a situation in a moment. And I would just guide and suggest everyone just find out, if someone said, may I please ask if you would swap seats, then you would return and say, if I may ask, I'm more than happy to, but may I ask why you would like to sit here? Yes, my husband is sitting next to you, and we've got this 2-year-old, and it would be a lot easier on me for the duration of the flight if the two of us could have hands on. Okay, great. That's a wonderful thing to sort of assess, and then say absolutely. And in that light, who knows, you will get noticed somewhere along the line, hopefully by the right person, and you might end up getting a better seat, who knows? But I just think assess each situation as it unfolds. Dr. Jacalyn? Yeah, so for me, it really is very, very important in every sense of the word when you take on board things that sort of happen as they sort of unfold. Now, when we first came on today, we were talking about this scenario of social harmony. And for me, I think social harmony, ladies and gentlemen, is very much about that pattern of respect, that understanding cultural differences. And that really does boil down to what the word etiquette is really about. It's sort of the understanding of the rules of engagement, and having universal respect is absolutely crucial. It really and truly is. It is something that if we can all go out there and take on board in everything we do, it'll enable us to have such phenomenal relationships. And that is, you have to be completely null and void against people's backgrounds, their beliefs, their status. And, I think it's fundamental that we really connect on a level of how we make each other feel. I've been watching the David Beckham series on Netflix, and I have to say I would urge everybody out there to watch it. I don't want to say too much, but what was beautiful was when David Beckham joined a foreign side, there were lots of foreign players, and despite the language barrier, boom, there was this incredible connection. There was this communication, despite not speaking the same languages. And that really comes from sitting with people, giving them the opportunity to express their emotions and feelings, albeit maybe you couldn't understand the actual language coming out the mouth, but through the facial expressions, through the way they behave, through their actions. And this is absolutely fundamental. And this then goes into, I suppose, as I've just said, behavioral etiquette. It really involves, hearing and establishing the norms, listening. This is something, Dr. Jacalyn, you are absolutely fastidious about, in every sense of the word, listening really actively and really, really respecting personal space and using beautiful, as I mentioned, as I did on the aircraft, using polite, polished language to weave a pattern of mutual respect. This is 100% something that I urge every single one of us to be able to do. And just before I return and get Dr. Jacalyn back into the studio, is something that I feel we need to be so situationally and socially aware of, and that is our digital etiquette. In this interconnected world that we're living in, maintaining our politeness, our respect, our privacy, engaging positively in a digital space are absolutely critical for harmony. And as you said right in the beginning of today's program, Dr. Jacalyn, this digital space, people think they've got poetic license, boy, and that's actually the wrong word, because poetic sounds too wonderful and gorgeous. They think they can write and say whatever they want, and that to me is spineless and criminal. It really and truly is, because let me tell you right now, what would you say X, Y, and Z to the same person to their face, or would you be bold enough to go and stand up on a stage and say what you wanted to say, or you just that little worm behind the scenes doing and saying what you want to say? So that's my view on, picking up where we left off on this diversity and respecting one another.
Philip, so many great points that you made. What's coming through for me is the foundation, or what's linking all of these scenarios together, is controlling our emotions. When we let go of control of our emotions, that's when we're not listening. That's when we start talking. That's when we start saying things that we could regret later. And I'll just give a basic example. This popped into my head. We were talking about the planes and the trains, but I work out twice a day, actually, doing two different things. And what I found is, at the gym, for example, if you are doing a certain exercise on a piece of equipment and somebody else wants to work in with you, I see people saying, "No, man, I'm here using this machine." Well, you don't own that machine. You're using the machine, but couldn't you let someone work in and do their set, and then you do your set? But people get so angry. "No, I'm here on this machine." I'm thinking, in the time you're taking to say that and be so angry, just step aside, do something else, and let the person move in. But they the person that I watch, and I've seen this over and over again in many different scenarios, even in a grocery store, for example, if the checkout process is taking longer, the person starts attacking the cashier, and the cashier is doing their job. So if we can control our emotions, and you always talk about the 6-second rule and taking a breath and pausing, I think it's better for all of us, because as we start to get ourselves more and more worked up, it takes a longer amount of time for us to calm ourselves back down. And if we learned how to be calm from the very beginning and to anticipate that things are not always going to go our way, and maybe there's a key learning from that, I think it's better in terms of emotional and mental health wellness.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, the benefit for all of us when we learn to slow down, learn to be patient, it's colossal. It is absolutely colossal. It really and truly is. I can't even express enough or how powerful that is, Dr. Jacalyn. It really is.
The other day, I was on my way to an appointment, and I was at a traffic light, and there was a lane of traffic next to me, and the guy, not behind me, but the guy behind the guy right next to me, he starts blowing on the horn, and I'm thinking, the traffic light is red. There's nowhere for the guy to go. So as soon as it turned green, and I'm thinking to myself, what has got you worked up? But I said to myself, you know what? Maybe this person has an emergency. So maybe we should all just move over, get out of the person's way so they can get to where it is they have to go. So I looked at it from their viewpoint as opposed to how it was impacting the rest of us who were hearing this person just lay on the horn.
Yeah. And that's a great view, and I feel a really wonderful attitude to adopt. But again, I'm going to play devil's advocate and sit on the fence here. I just feel that there are just too many people out there that are impatient and are ready to pull. I don't want to use, no, they're ready to just blow it, or hit the horn, or say something, or shout, and it is so untoward. It is so unfair, and it puts everyone on an edge. It puts people in the wrong mindset. And many years ago, funny enough, it was actually a gentleman from, he was a gentleman from LA, and wonderful chap, and he attended the Polished Professional with us. And off the back of the first day, because on the first day of the Polished Professional, we literally go into, we dive deep into putting flesh on the bone of the power of etiquette and manner. We don't just talk about this list of do's and don'ts. Actually, on the contrary, we get involved in understanding what triggers us and all that sort of thing, and the importance and the powerful. And just sharing that moment of do not allow your mood to dictate your manners, and sharing the 6-second rule with him. The following day, because we were, obviously there's this time difference, we were starting the Polished Professional early evening in the UK, and so it was mid-morning for him by the time he joined the class. So he had the opportunity to go off and do some exercise. And what I always encourage is people to give input and feedback from the day before if they have any questions. And I said to this gentleman, I said, John, tell me a few takeaways from yesterday, please. He said, Philip, I am the most impatient driver. I don't know how to keep my cool. And he said, today I was driving on my way to the gym, and I stopped, and normally I would have hooted my horn because women hesitated to go when the light turned green. And I got to the gym feeling so much calmer, so much relief within me. He said it's one of the most powerful things. And he actually went on to say, Dr. Jacalyn, that he struggles, and he's been for anger management coaching. So he said that was possibly one of the most powerful tools that he's ever adopted. And I just said, look, John, we've only got a short time together on the Polished Professional. However, if there's just one takeaway from this program, which there'll be many more nuggets, that is one thing that I want you to hold clear to your heart and your head and continue in that way.
That's absolutely brilliant. Thank you for sharing that. I think that really goes back to what we've been talking about, is that when we are in control of our emotions, we are much more able to be present. And when we can be present, we can be fully engaged in listening to the other person. And when we're listening at an elevated level, we're showing the other person respect. We are showing that compassion. We are showing empathy. And as you know, we talk a lot on this platform about asking permission and setting boundaries. We can't be listening at an elevated level all the time because we have things we have to do. We have things we have to get done. But when we are able to be present and let somebody know, you know what, Philip, you are really important to me. What you say is important. I just don't have the time at this moment because I'm on a television show, as are you. Let's find time later today. How does that sound?
Great. Thank you so much. What time would suit you? And it unfolds 100%. 100%.
And to that point, also, I want to bring up something that one of our team members talks about quite often. I think this is important for social harmony. If you ask something of me, if you ask for my time, and my response is, no, I don't have the time. How do you feel?
I would potentially come back to you and say, okay, you don't have time now. Might you have time in the future? And if you came back, no, I don't have time. Well, there's not a lot I can do about that. I might then finish up and say, well, if you happen to find a window in your busy schedule, please, I'd really value some time with you, and leave it at that. You know, it's again, how do you react to a situation? There's always going to be action, reaction, action, reaction. And when we speak, we give life to our words, Dr. Jacalyn. You can't take words back really at the end of the day. You can be quick to apologize, but we always just need to think about slowing down. And that's where you look at very dynamic presenters, people who, heaven forbid, they're dynamic, but you know, government or good speakers, they pause, they take a moment, they don't just. You look at some of the, you know, their power of communication and getting a message across is phenomenal, and it's because they slow down, and they obviously practice, but they slow down.
They do slow down. They're aware of their surroundings, of their audience. And Caroline Hewitt, who is the Harley Street stress expert, what she shared on our show, The Listening Mentor, and I've really taken this to heart, is if you ask something of me, if you ask for my time and I come back with, I'm available these times, as opposed to, no, I'm not available, that doesn't give you any information that you can then action on. But if I say to you, yes, here are the times I'm available, doesn't that resonate more positively with you than if I just say no?
Of course. It's again going back to the way you make someone feel. You know,
Exactly.
It really does. 100%. And this is exactly how do we position ourselves? How do we use the language we speak to our benefit and for the benefit of the person connecting? And this is something, you know, when we talk about the diverse section of what we really, you know, the idea of social harmony and diversity. If you think about diversity as, I just think it's wonderful. You know, we need to learn to value differences, and it gives us the ability to introduce such incredible experiences and perspectives and ideas. And I love that word tapestry. It weaves a very rich tapestry in society. And if we embrace these differences, we can generate innovation and foster dynamic communication and build an incredible community. And then this boils down to, you know, as I've always maintained, the British School of Etiquette, which was formerly known as the British School of Excellence, we've never been exclusive. We've always been inclusive. And inclusivity, it really does ensure that all those threads of people are woven into a tapestry, making them feel, A, valued and included, and it enhances stability and beauty of those beautiful social fabrics, you know, the fabric of life. And cultural sensitivity is hugely important. If we understand one another's differences, you know, what's a cultural norm for me, and I go to a country such as Saudi Arabia or Hong Kong, or they're going to be cultural differences. So my cultural norm is not necessarily going to be possibly even welcome there. Who knows? But we need to understand that by investigating what the cultural norms are within different diverse populations and diversity. When it comes to diversity, it creates a harmonious blend. And it does help us build stronger and forge stronger relationships. Here at the organization, we have got the most incredible relationship with the most diverse people in the world. It's just phenomenal.
It absolutely is. And, I want to have you talk a little bit about some of your graduates, because the things that they're doing now, what I see on social media, and we've had some of them back. But first, we have a comment from Heather Joy. Thank you again, Heather. My mother used to say, you can't control what others do, but you can control your reaction to the things they do. That was some of the best advice she ever gave me.
Beautiful. Brilliant.
Absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely brilliant. 100%. 100%.
Thank you, Heather Joy. One thing I wanted to mention is that we were talking backstage about Dr. Jacalyn Mutali, one of the people who took your Train the Trainer program, and she is making things happen in the world that are incredible. I'm going to be at her conference, which is coming up next Thursday, and I'm just bringing it up for a reason. It's the World Summit on Women and Girls, and I'm actually the chairperson for a panel talking about artificial intelligence and technology and how the implication around the world for women and girls. But the point is that Dr. Mutali is one of your graduates, as well as Ala, as well as Orchids Roy. I could go on and on, who have gone through your program, and they are out in the world doing things that are absolutely incredible. Would you like to speak on that?
Oh, I just get goosebumps from head to toe. And it makes me very emotional in the happiest way possible. It is just phenomenal, because these are people who've had a passion, a dream. They want to make a difference and a change. They come from diverse backgrounds. Again, amazing. Ala is from Ukraine, and she's a powerhouse. Married a South African gentleman. They live in the US, and she is making big waves in the industry. And despite what she's been faced with, with her own personal journey, and she's just extraordinary. Then we've got Orchids in Dubai, who is bringing together magic in just around something called what does she called it, Dr. Jacalyn? She's called it. I was using the word earlier today. She's called it a dinner club, a supper club. That's it. And if you think about a supper club, it's far deeper than that. It's not just sitting there learning how to use various utensils, whether you're Chinese or Western or wherever you might eat with your right hand. It's about so much more. And she really has made a very strong platform for herself and a name for herself in a very short space of time in Dubai. And then, Justina Mutale speaks around the world on various stages, as does Marie Christine, who is a Rwandan refugee, left Rwanda in the genocide, treading over dead bodies of her family to escape the country, and having to be sort of housed by the Red Cross in Kenya, and having to sort of bribe her way onto an aircraft with a male passport, and told to eat the passport before she landed. But she took care of a gentleman's 2 children that he was battling with, and she said the hardest part was the cover of the passport. And she's doing this with a smile. Yet she lands here in the UK, a complete refugee, and goes on not only to become an incredible speaker globally, and she and Justina Mutala are very connected, but she left the country holding a 2-year-old baby, her daughter, and it goes on. The story is just quite phenomenal. Her daughter ends up going to the best girls' school in the country, where a lot of high flying, but also the royals send their children, the daughters. Not only does she go to the school, she ends up being head girl. She then goes on to being onto Cambridge, and then does a postgrad at Oxford University. Her other 2 children land up at the most beautiful school in the Sion Valley in Switzerland, and again are making huge waves with their incredible academia, sport, and that sort of thing. And these stories, I could hopefully not bore anyone, but that term, I could bore you to tears with the most incredible people that have walked through the door, that are doing great things out there. There's Carol Sterling running Sterling Etiquette in the USA. There is I could go on. I mean, we've got Maria Campos in Portugal running programs for people. We've got Jessica van Humbeek in Benelux. We've got Leanne in Poland. It is just phenomenal at what these students are doing. And then we've got the most incredible bubbly person. I think she's possibly one of the most bubbliest people. You know her very well. You've got to know her. And that is out of the Bahamas. We've got
Loretta.
Yeah, Lorraine Phillips out of Bermuda. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And these are people who have incredible vision, focus, and passion to give people these quintessential tools to help them put their best foot forward.
And Dr. Sadia Rajput and Ruchi, we could go on and on. The people who walk through your doors and walk out are at the highest caliber, the polished professional, the ultimate business entrepreneur, and the skill sets that you're teaching them. I'd love for you to talk a little bit about that while I bring up the website.
Thank you very much. Actually, I sent you, as you know, Dr. Jacalyn, I sent you a video of an amazing, very down-to-earth testimonial that was literally shot at the desk of one of the past students, and it's too long to play it right now. But again, the testimonials and what people are sharing with us are it's just phenomenal. And it really makes me very proud, but not only that, it humbles me to know that through the power of etiquette and manners and through the passion that we have, we're changing people's lives. And this is not boring stuff. This is exciting. This is dynamic material that we are really embracing, and we're giving you the ability to learn how you can leverage off this incredible platform that you established for yourself. At the end of the day, here at the British School of Excellence, we as an organization, we're a locksmith. That's all we are. You've got the door. We just find the right key to open that door for you. And that's really the way to look at it. So whatever you are struggling with, be it mental health, be it something that's tripping you up from a confidence point of view, be it you can't get a promotion, be it relationships, whatever it might be, I can well assure you at the British School of Excellence, A, we will listen, and B, we will work with you to bring the best out in you and help you on your journey, that your life becomes full and enriched and so worth living.
Philip, thank you so much for sharing that. We are showing your website here, and we are also going to play your sponsorship with a number of people who are graduates. Someone enters into your program, and when they come out, how will they be changed?
It's not abracadabra, the bunny rabbit jumps out the hat. I wish it was. Same with going through trauma. It's a process. And funny enough, the gentleman that I was sharing with you in his testimonial, he really does talk about how his last year has unfolded. And he really, really does. He goes on to, really talk about that. It took him a period of time. And he talks about, he says that if this course was a stock, it would be on the front page of every newspaper. It gave him a return of 16,500%. And, he said the 12 months, and he said pretty much after about 2-3 weeks into having completed the Polish Professional, he started to feel these incredible changes. And I often love to, my team talk to me and tell me that I'm too generous with my time. And I am. I get smacked on the knuckles because I am. And it's one of my, call it a downfall, but I also look at it as a strength. And I had 2 incredible women walk through the door exactly 2 weeks ago today. And they booked the whole day. They're stylists, and I'd love to get them on the show, Dr. Jacalyn. They are stylists, they're sisters, and they run an incredible styling and image consultancy. And they were like a dog with a bone when I met them. They were just literally hanging on every single bit of material, writing ferociously. I then always follow up with written material via email. And I, on the spur of the moment that Friday 2 weeks ago, I said, you know what, ladies? I would like to give you a couple of extra hours of my free time. And just on Wednesday, I went into London and I booked some time with them in the afternoon. And they sat down and I said, okay, tell me, how have the last 10 days been for you? And both of them just lit up like light bulbs. And they just said, Philip, our lives have changed dramatically. Our relationship has got even stronger. Our business relationships got even stronger. And they just went on and on and on. And they ended up saying, we want to keep learning from you. We want to keep doing programs and courses with you to continue on this journey. And I was just like, how amazing is this? I mean, they're so coachable, but the benefits, the value that they've received is exponential, and it will take their business to a completely different height.
I love what you just shared there. Thank you so much, Philip. And that word coachable, when I am working with someone and I can feel and see that they are coachable, I am so excited because I know we're going to learn from each other. And it's a journey, as you mentioned. You do have some upcoming courses. Is there any opportunity for people to enroll, or are these fully booked?
We have, look, it's the last moment, I know, and it's Monday, kicks off at midday, British summertime. We're starting our second to last Train the Trainer for this year, which will be 5 days, Monday through to Friday. It's very diverse. We've got some amazing people coming in from Asia, amazing people coming in from the United States of America. But there are a few more spaces left on our Train the Trainer, which is a life-changing program. Whether you wanted to go into, because you want to get involved in coaching and in the industry of the power of etiquette and manners and building confidence through that and emotional intelligence, or whether you want to incorporate it for your own life or for your own organization, the benefits are exponential. So that starts this coming Monday. The date, today's the 13th, or the 16th until the Friday. And then we have the Polished Professional starting. I don't know the exact date. We've also got courses that people can book on a bespoke level. In other words, if you want to have one-on-one coaching or group coaching and the dates are available, we can do that as well. We've got an e-learning platform which is expanding at the moment. We're going to be launching interview skills and techniques, in other words, interview etiquette. We're going to be launching establishing your brand. We're going to be launching the Polished Professional online as well, e-learning. So that'll be another option. If you can't take the Polished Professional in person, as in on Zoom or in London, then you can always buy the course on an e-learning platform. And there'll be other courses added to the e-learning part of our platform very soon. And we've got a new website on its way too. So that's going to be exciting to see. It's going to be hopefully a lot more enticing and a lot more user-friendly than the current one. So that's all the news I have for everybody at this point in time.
That's extensive, Philip. Thank you very much. And as we've mentioned, I'm not a paid spokesperson for the people who have come through your doors. It's amazing what they are doing with their lives and their careers. So if you're out there watching and you're thinking to yourself, wow, I never really thought about taking a course like this, please reach out to Philip. We have his contact information. Let me pull it up again. Here it is. Philip, what's the best way for people to reach out to you? And again, for people who are out there watching or listening, they're thinking, I don't know, is this me? Who is this for?
Anybody and everybody. I know people said, but be more specific. It really and truly is. It's for every single person out there who wants to move forward in their lives at a good pace, and maybe even a faster pace. But not only that, if people are struggling with any form of nervousness or anxiousness or lacking confidence or just want to know how to be better than they were yesterday, this is what this is all about. And that's what we do here at the British School of Excellence. To contact us, I think the easiest way would be hello@thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. You're very welcome to connect with me on WhatsApp, which is +44 780 885 9914. You can also reach out to Leanne, which is LEANNE @thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. So please, anyone out there, we will engage with a conversation whenever it might suit or there's the right sort of time available. And I urge anyone out there to make contact.
Thank you, Philip. And of course, they can also follow you and the British School of Excellence on social media. You are on all the major platforms.
And again, going back to testimonials, when someone says you have the best TV show in the world, Dr. Jacalyn, no one's going to believe you. But when other people are promoting you and saying, Dr. Jacalyn, the US Global, blah, 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 is the best, then people start to listen and wake up. And this is what we're very fortunate to have at our fingertips. This is the power and the positivity of social media, because it can change people's lives in such a profound and prolific way. So on our YouTube channel, we've got the most incredible testimonials which people have sent in off their own backs. Yes, we've labeled them and we've put branding on them for obvious reasons, but the content is as natural as it will get.
And we're going to take a look at some of those testimonials in just a minute or so. On October 27th, I believe there's a special episode of this particular program. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Help me out there. My mind's awash.
We're graduates from the Train the Trainer program. We're going to be here.
That is correct. Yes. Yeah, lots going on. That is true. So we're going to be inviting some past graduates onto the program just to talk openly about their lives, their vision, their focus, their passions, their experience with the British School of Excellence. And again, hugely excited about that. And we love giving people this opportunity and platform to talk and raise awareness on and use it to help make a difference in this world.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Philip, for being here. And thank you for Heather for commenting and for watching. And I just really appreciate everything that you and the British School of Excellence are doing to make the world a better place.
Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn, and ditto on that one to you, right back at you. It's all about pulling together, partnering together, and making this difference in this world. And there's so many wonderful ways we can do that. And you don't have to, look, it's nice to have lots of money in the bank. I'm sure anyone out there who's got lots of money in the bank, it helps, but it doesn't necessarily, what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't necessarily ease sometimes the pain that we feel, or the misery, or the upset, or maybe, when we're a bit off center. But we can all make a difference with the value add that we can bring to the table, with the talent that we've got, with doing that random act of goodness and kindness on a regular basis. All of these little things start to create a domino effect.
Wonderful. Great way to sum it up. Thank you. And we're going to take a look and listen to some of the testimonials, and then we'll be back with Talking Heads. Stay tuned. Bye, everyone. Stay tuned and watch the sponsorship. Thank you. This program is brought to you in part by the British School of Excellence and founder, Mr. Philip Sykes. Building confidence, changing lives. Do you share our view that etiquette is a set of modern life skills that are essential for personal and professional success? Join us as an etiquette coach and change people's lives through the power of etiquette and manners.
The last few days have been really amazing. I had the trainer course from the British School of Etiquette.
And I must say it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made, and one of the best investments I've made in my own training and development.
Now, words alone will not describe the transformation and the positive path that I have traveled with the British School of Etiquette.
I found I learned a lot from the lessons this time I came.
The last few days with the British School of Etiquette have been fantastic.
And what I've learned now is really beyond my expectations.
This is the most rewarding experience and the best investment I've made this year.
It was just great. I learned so much, and when I go back to Belgium I will incorporate a lot of it into my day-to-day life and business.
It's been absolutely wonderful for the whole week that we were here.
I feel transformed, and I feel like blowing a trumpet and tell people, come and do this school, this class is the best, this is the best school ever.
You should take it. It will change your life immediately.
I am now able to teach other people how to bring the best of them.
Thank you.
Thank you, BSc.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to our clients for their testimonials on the Train the Trainer program. Our exponential and global growth is so significant that we've evolved from the British School of Etiquette to the British School of Excellence, where we're investors in people. Let us invest in you and your career. Contact us to become an etiquette coach. Go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. Start your career and elevate your success today.